This is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's episode of the Passion to Profits podcast. Now, in today's podcast episode, we are going to have a look at practical ways of how you can make money from your passion business. Because this past couple of days, we have done a lot of episodes on mindset, on thinking positive, on believing in ourselves. But really, if we don't take action, it's never going to happen. The money is only going to go into your pocket by you taking action. So in this podcast episode, I'm going to give a lot of advice. I'm going to give you some things to think about and how you can actually make money from your passion business. Now, the first thing you need to realize is the money that you are looking for is in someone else's pocket. You know, the money isn't floating around on the internet. A lot of people come on the internet assuming that there's just this big lake of money, and if they show up with a big net, they can just scoop it up and they can put it in their bank account. But really, the money that you are looking for is in someone else's pocket. And what you need to think about is, how can I get that money from that person's pocket into my pocket? Now, you can chase after them with a baseball bat, you can pull a gun on them, but we're not going to go down that route. We're going to go down the nicer route. We are going to go down the route of providing value to our audience, to our customers, so that they'll want to give us money in return. Now, when it comes to making money online, there's two different routes you can go down. You can be an entertainer or you can be an educator. Now, if you are great at entertaining people, I'm sure if you probably set up a channel on TikTok or YouTube, you'd probably make an absolute fortune. Now, in my own case, I would probably starve as an entertainer. So what I'm doing is I am going down the route of education. And what I'm doing is I am trying to find people with problems, come up with a solution to that problem, and then sell that solution to them. So what I do is I write ebooks, I make digital courses, videos, and all that content, and sell it to my customers to help them with the problems that they have. And that's what you need to think about first of all. Are you going to be an entertainer, or are you going to be an educator? Now, you might find that maybe your passion is something that isn't something that you can educate people on. It could be maybe the only route you have to go down is entertainment. Now, of the two, it's probably going to be better for you to be an educator. There's probably actually more money in it. While it's all good and well entertaining people, you're probably going to have to find that you're going to have to build a huge audience. Whereas with education, you don't need a big audience. You need people with problems, people who are willing to pay for a solution to their problems, and then happy days. You've got money in your bank. Now, when it comes to helping people online, you need to think for a moment, well, who am I trying to help? A lot of us, again, show up. We build a website, we build a blog, we throw content on LinkedIn or Facebook, and we don't give any thoughts to the type of person that we're looking to help. Now, your passion business, I want you to think about it for a moment, and I want you to consider the type of person that you are either trying to entertain or educate. Now, what age range are they? What sex are they? Where do they live? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids? What is their kind of, family life like? And that sometimes does take a while to work that out. We don't want to do that. We just kind of go racing off and we just make the videos, we write the blog posts, and then we wonder why nobody's paying attention to us. It's because we believe that the whole internet is our customer, is our readers, is our listeners. But really, at the end of the day, it's not. There's only a tiny little segment of the internet is interested in what you do. So you need to think about, well, who are the people I'm trying to help? If I had a dog blog, you can be guaranteed that cat owners aren't going to read my blog. You can guarantee that people who've got spiders aren't going to read my blog because it's solely catered to dogs. Again, of that dog audience that I have, maybe not everybody would be interested in the content that I would create. You might feel because I've got a dog blog, it means that everybody is interested in dog content. But maybe some people just like watching cute videos of dogs. Maybe some people have maybe a pup that they've got problems with. Maybe some people have an elderly dog that they've got problems with. Maybe some people are single, got problems with a dog who's just tearing up the yard when they're away at work. Or maybe my audience is maybe elderly people who've got a new dog and don't have the energy to walk that dog. So I'm sure you can see that going into the dog niche, I can actually break it down into smaller and smaller segments. And the more my content is tailored to a smaller audience, the more it's going to connect with them. You're going to find that the older people are going to look at the content that I create for older people, and they're going to say, well, that's my problem. That's what I'm going through. And what they'll do is they'll follow you. And again, if you provide solutions to their problems, they're going to buy your ebooks. They're going to watch your videos because you are helping them out. So you need to think about who your audience is. What age are they? What problems might they have? And the more specific you can drill down into the type of person that you're trying to help, it makes your content a lot easier to create. It makes your products a lot easier to create. Because when you know your audience, you know the problems that they have, you know the content that they will be interested in watching or listening to, and you know the type of problems that they have. So it means you know the ebooks, the digital courses, and the stuff you're going to create for them. It makes your life a lot easier. But if you show up today and you don't know who your audience is, are you creating content for the single person? Are you creating content for the elderly people? Are you creating content for the people who like cute dog videos? Who are you creating content for? So you're kind of all over the place. So you need to work out who your audience is, and it's going to make your job a lot easier in building a business around your passion. Now, when it comes to building a business, what you need to do is you need to think simple. Now, the simplest business that you can create is build an audience that has a certain interest, find out what problems they have, go away, come up with a solution to that problem, and then go back to that audience and then sell it to them again. That's not too difficult. Just build a group of people, find out the problems, create a solution to the problems, and sell to them. And you could retire on that. You could be using that simple business model from here till eternity. You don't need to learn about AI. You don't need to do any fancy stuff on Facebook. You don't need to create tons of YouTube videos or all the different things other people are doing, the distracted people. Because if you follow a simple business model, it makes your life a lot easier. Because you'll know the type of person that you're trying to help. You'll know the type of problems that they have because you've asked your audience, you've asked the people in your audience what problems they have. So then you know for a fact that when you actually write an ebook about that problem, when you create a video course about that problem and go back to that audience, they are almost guaranteed to buy it because it's the problem that they have. And then when you sell that problem to them or that solution to them, what you do is you just rinse and repeat. You go back to the audience again and you say, well, we've solved this problem. What's your next problem? And what you simply do is you do surveys, or you just reach out to them, or you send emails to your list and you just ask them, what's your biggest headache at the moment? How could I help you out? What do you find is holding you back? Or what do you think is holding you back? And again, you take a note of all their answers. You go away and you say, well, can I create a product about any of those? Go off, write your ebook, create your digital course, and then come back to that audience again and say, here you go. And then rinse and repeat again and again and again and again. Now that there is one of the easiest business models that you'll find. Nothing complicated about it. You basically just need to build an audience, be it on social media, be it an email list, but an audience that you can control, an audience that you can get in front of. And then you simply just interact with that audience, ask them what problems they have, and then just come up with solutions to it. Again, maybe you could go down the entertainment route. If you wanted to build that audience, you could find out, well, what stuff do they like watching? What other content or who do they follow? And then what you can do is you can have a look at the content that those other people are creating or the topics that those other people are talking about, and then create your entertainment content based on that. And again, basing it on what your audience likes. So if your audience likes it, they are going to watch it. And then you simply go back to them again and say, well, what's the last best video you ever saw? Or who are you following at the moment? And again, just repeat and rinse over and over and over again. And again, that's how you can build a bigger audience, give that audience what they want. And then if they're happy with what you're doing, you can find that they will actually give you money for it. Now, when it comes to creating any type of products, what I would recommend you do is don't go racing off and thinking to yourself, well, I've got an audience who I know has a problem, and what I'm going to do is I am going to create 100 video digital course. And so you go racing off and you make 100 videos, and then you come back and then you bring it to your audience, and then you find that they're not interested in it. You might sell 1 or 2 copies, or you might sell none at all, and then you've wasted all that time. So what you need to do is you need to think about the minimum product that you can create. Could you create an ebook just solving one simple problem? Ebooks nowadays don't have to have 40, 50, 60 pages in it. An ebook basically just needs to take your customer or your follower from point A to point B. And when they buy your ebook and they read your ebook, they know how they can get from point A to point B. And when they find themselves at point B, they're going to be happy because you have taken them from where they were to where they want to be. And then what you can do is you can take that follower from point B to point C. But too many of us, when we get started, think I need to create a course that's going to take my person from A to Z. And then we do all that work, realizing that, maybe our audience wasn't even interested in that. Maybe we have just given them too much. Maybe the content and the videos and all that is just like, it's like drinking a fire hose. We just have given them so much content that they just get swamped, they don't know how to take action, and they just get overwhelmed. Whereas it would be easier if you can just take one small problem that they have and make sure that when they read your ebook, watch your video course, that it's gone forever. Now your video course could be maybe 2 videos that just takes them from point A to point B. And as I said, if your audience is in point B, they're going to be satisfied because you've helped them move from where they wanted to get to. So if you are looking to create any digital products, please just rein it in for a moment. It's very easy just to get run away with ourselves and thinking we need to create all these ebooks, create all these videos and all that. You need to think about the minimum. Just test out ideas. You could spend maybe a day writing an ebook, and if it flops, well then you've only just wasted a day. But if you spend maybe 2 months creating a huge big library of videos, well then that's 2 months of wasted time that you're never going to get back. So it's better off just to test small ideas, and then you might find that maybe small idea can be expanded on, and then can become maybe a bigger ebook, or can become a bigger digital product where you could maybe add more videos to it. But at least you know that where you're starting is a good place to start and build on that. So it's a great way of actually testing out different ideas, just creating simple, small, thin ebooks, small video courses, and then see what your audience laps up. And then when maybe one product is just selling, far more than everything else, well then you're on to a winner. And can you expand on that? And is there any way maybe you could add additional products to that? Now as well too, what you need to do is you need to leverage digital platforms, because in the online world now at the minute, digital is the most convenient and the easiest way of you getting your products into your viewers' hands. Maybe years ago before the internet, you had to write a book and then you had to put it in the post and you had to send it off, and maybe that person had to fill like a little coupon in the paper to request your book, and there was all this kind of rigmarole where maybe they had to wait 28 days for that book to show up. But nowadays, with everything digital, somebody can buy a product of yours and they can be reading it in 2 or 3 minutes from now. And that's what you need to think in the beginning, is to go digital. Digital ebooks, videos, all the kind of digital content, MP3 files, everything that's portable. Because nowadays, people want instant solutions right away. They don't want to sit and wait on the postman to take around this package of these ebooks and, DVDs and all that. They don't want that. They want the content right now. They want their problem solved right now. And so what you need to do is you need to think to yourself, well, how can I, maybe as an entertainer or an educator, create digital content? Now, probably as an entertainer, that makes your path a lot easier because you're already probably putting videos on YouTube, you're probably putting stuff on TikTok and all those different platforms. So that's easy for you. You're probably already creating digital content. But as an educator, that's what you need to think about, is how can I create ebooks? How can I make something that's portable that I can send to my customer in a couple of moments? Now, you will find that maybe if you are maybe just starting off, you've only got a blog or a website, you're thinking to yourself, well, how the hell do I do it? What you can do is you can leverage other platforms. So you could go to a platform like maybe ClickBank, and what you can do is you can actually create a product, upload it to ClickBank, and what ClickBank does is it will sell your products for you. Now, you are going to have to drive traffic to that product, to that sales letter, but ClickBank will handle the payment processing. They will make sure that the product gets sent off to the buyer, and then they'll send you the money. So they'll take care of all the digital stuff. Now, that's just one platform. I'm sure if you just pop it into Google, you're probably going to find hundreds and hundreds of different platforms that you can use, that you can sell your digital content on. Now, again, maybe later on at some point where maybe you're more experienced with your blog or your website, you can add on additional plugins and attachments that allow you to sell all your content on your own platform. But in the beginning, you might find it easier maybe just to use someone else's platform, let them take care of the payment processing, so that is a headache that you don't have at the beginning. And again, too, what I'd say to you is that when you are building a business online, either as an educator or an entertainer, you really need to be building an email list. It might be great building a huge audience on TikTok. It might be great having a huge audience on YouTube, an audience on Facebook. We've got these thousands of followers on Facebook. We've got these thousands of followers on YouTube and TikTok. Now, here's the problem with that. TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook can just switch off your account at a moment's notice. And then all of a sudden, 10,000 followers you had on YouTube are gone forever. And you can't get back in front of that audience. Whereas if you were gathering email addresses as you were going along, if any of those platforms decided to knock you off for whatever reason, it could be mightn't have been something you did. It could be just simply somebody clicked the wrong switch in the back room and then all of a sudden your content and everything's gone. But at least by you having an email list, it means that if you do need to move to a different platform, you can reach out to your email subscribers and you can say, we're no longer on YouTube, we're over on TikTok, or we're over on LinkedIn, or we're over on Facebook, and then you can direct your traffic there. And the best thing about having an email list is that it's a community. People don't think of it as a community. They just think of it as, a group of people that I'm just going to keep spamming with emails until they buy my products. But what you can do is you can actually build a community around your email in that, compared to maybe social media where maybe not all of your posts are being read, but you could send a daily email to your list and that could be like a Facebook post. But you'll be guaranteed, because it's an email list, you can be almost guaranteed that you're going to get in front of 100% of those people. So all the people on your email list will be reading your post on Monday. They'll be reading on Tuesday. They'll be reading it on Wednesday. And what you can do is you can build a bond between you and your customers. You're going to come across as being likable. You're going to be seen as trustworthy. And that's because you are showing up in their inbox again and again and again. So if you are looking to build an email list, don't fall down the trap of only sending one email a week or one email a month and think that's going to work. That's not going to work. Because you need to consider how many emails your email subscribers are getting every day. Even look at your own case. How many emails do you wake up to every day? Now, if you're only sending one email to your list, that is just one email which could be among maybe hundreds of other emails. So you're going to get lost. And if you're only sending it maybe once a month, well, then you can be guaranteed it's even worse. But if you show up every day, you can be guaranteed that at some point you are going to get in front of your readers. And the more you show up in it, the more they're probably going to unsubscribe from those other people and start to follow you. So don't think by emailing less you're actually helping yourself. By emailing less you're actually working against yourself, and you need to go the opposite way. You need to show up in their inbox as often as you can. And if you find that you're giving good content, if people like what you do, you're going to find they're not going to get fed up listening to you. Sometimes we believe that if we send too much content, people are going to click on the unsubscribe link and then run off. But you're going to find that if you show up consistently, you're going to find that your probably unsubscribes are going to go down because you're building a community between you and your email subscribers. So just remember that if you are building a business around your passion, from day one, you really need to be collecting email addresses so that if, God forbid, anything happened to any platforms, you still have that list that you can email again and again and again. Now, when it comes to another part of building a business around your passion, you need to market. You need to tell people what you do. I've seen this many times with people who want to make money online. They will write ebooks, they'll create products, and then they'll tell no one. And the only person that knows that that product is there is probably their mother or their granny or maybe one or two in the house. Nobody in the world knows. And if nobody knows what you do, can you really expect somebody just to randomly, knock on your door today and give you money for that product or that thing that you have? No. So what you need to do is you need to go out and you need to promote yourself. You need to try and tell as many people as you can why you do, what you do, how you can help them, and why it benefits them following you. Now, a lot of us don't like doing that because it feels like we're just kind of puffing our chest out. It feels like it's an ego thing that we're all kind of brag. But you really need to do that. And if you kind of hide on your little stone, nobody's going to find you under there. What they're going to do is your customers are going to go to the people who are bragging about what they do. I want you to think about it for a moment. If you really believe in your passion business, you should be standing up in your soapbox. You should be pointing to yourself and you're saying, I am the person that you should be following. I am the one that knows how to solve your problems. I am the one who's going to give you the best value, who's going to treat you well, and who's going to always be there for you. You need to be there. People don't know that. You sometimes need to put that thought in people's heads. And again, by showing up consistently, you are going to show that you're a good person, that you want to help out and build value. Because at the end of the day, nobody is going to give you money for nothing. They want value first, and then if they like what you do, they will pay you at some point in the future. Now, you might find sometimes that maybe those people won't pay you straight away. You might find that maybe that value will pay off in 6 months from now or a year from now. And you might find that maybe not all of your followers actually interact with you or buy your content or your products. But over time, the more you kind of keep going at it, the more they're going to realize that you are the type of person they should be following, that you do solve problems, that you do change lives. And then what they'll do is they will reach out and they will give you their money. So think about how you can actually do that. And then finally, what I'd say to you as well too is to keep it as simple as possible. Because too many of us sometimes, when it comes to building an online business, just make it overly complicated. We have so many parts. We have so much content that we need to create. We've got a blog, we've got a Facebook page, we were on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, and we're all that. And here's us in the middle with all these different things that we need to do. And you're going to find that if you go down that route, you are going to burn out really fast because you can't keep up with it. What you need to do is you need to think simple. You need to think maybe of only one platform, of maybe only creating videos for TikTok, of maybe only putting content on YouTube, of maybe only having a podcast, and just have a simple routine that you can go through every day. Now, in my own case, just to explain, the routine that I do every day is what I do is I record a video. Now, as I'm recording this video, I have it recording here as a podcast episode. So straight away, I've done 2 things with this piece of content. Now, what I'll do after I've recorded this video, I'll upload it to YouTube. I'll upload it to Spotify. And then what I'll do is I'll take this video and I'll chop it down into tiny segments. And these segments will I put on YouTube and I'll put on TikTok. What I'll do then after that is I'll take the transcription from this video and I'll take it over to another platform and I'll get my team to write an ebook about this podcast episode. So that's my process. Now, your process doesn't have to be as complicated as that. Your process could be as simple as just sitting down today and recording one video. It could be as simple as just writing an ebook. It could be as simple as just doing a blog post. But don't make it too complicated. And by having a simple process, it means that when you sit down every day, you know the exact action steps that you need to take. If you make it too complicated, you're thinking to yourself, well, should I write a LinkedIn post today? Should I do a YouTube video? Should I do a podcast episode? Should I go on Twitter? And then you're all over the place and your head's distracted. So just rein all that back in and try to make your business as simple as possible so that every day you know what you're doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's if you want to work on Sundays. But if you have that simple process, it just makes your life a lot easier. And I think sometimes a lot of us sometimes get too complicated too quickly, try and do too many things, burn ourselves out and hate what we do. So maybe just stick with one platform and maybe one type of content and just build on that. See how it goes. Sometimes you maybe just need to test out different things. Maybe just do videos on YouTube, see how that goes for a while. If you don't get any traction, maybe start writing some blog posts. Maybe try doing some Facebook posts. Try doing LinkedIn. But just try one thing at a time and see what works and doesn't work. And see what you like doing. And then try and come up with a simple system that you can do that anyone could understand and build your passion business around that. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. If you did, or if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below this video. And if you would like to pick up those ebooks that we are creating about these podcast episodes, they're actually I probably should have said, rather than ebooks, they are actually Kindle books that you can buy on the Amazon store. So if you enjoyed this podcast episode, if you hop over to Amazon, probably in the next couple of days, you are going to find the Kindle version of this podcast episode. Now, to find the books, if you do a search for Writecom Team, that's WRITECOME Team, or if you do a search for Passion to Profit, you're going to find the book series on Amazon. So as always, have a lovely day. Take care. Bye-bye.